and welcome to the 7-part series of the Spiral of Creation, which is using the chakras more in a spiral pattern rather than straight up or down. And it's a system that's used in, or patterning that's used in a system called the dream spell, which is based off of sort of the Mayan day counting. Some people call it an astrology, but it's, just sort of like a day counting patterning system. And in the dream spell, which is its own thing, it's based off of the Mayan calendars, but it is a little bit of a more modern take on it. They have this 7-day pattern of how we work through the chakras, and it's in a spiral of creation. And so what this series is intended to do is to take us through that spiral of creation. So in the very first reading, we are going to receive a download, open to inspiration. So we're going to work each week on clearing and understanding how we work with each chakra to help it sort of clear and open and be ready for what is going to be coming in. And so I'm going to be putting this intro to the series at the start of each of the 7-week actual videos. So if you've already seen this, feel free to skip ahead to the intro to the actual reading. But if you haven't seen this yet, or if you want a refresher, I would stay here. And also a note that it is very important that you do this in order. So if you're coming into this and seeing this when we're at the heart chakra, so like the 7th reading, or if we're at the throat chakra, which would be the 5th reading, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, the 5th one, whichever one you're coming in at. If you have not gone in order, I would highly suggest for you to go back and start with the first reading of the series because this is a patterning. The first one is going to kick it off, and each subsequent one is a step that you shouldn't skip over. So I'm just going to go over what this patterning is. So we start in this system with the crown chakra. And in the philosophy around this spiraling pattern with the chakras, this is where we receive a download, receive inspiration or a divine spark, and it starts the spiral of creation. And so in the first reading, I will be helping us to see where there may be any blocks or things to be cleared, connecting different insights into how you may work with this chakra in general, and then just getting any insights about what kind of download or inspiration may be coming, but leaving it open-ended. And it's going to be a full week between readings. And so giving you that whole week of time to sort of receive your download, sort of pay attention to what this reading illuminated for you and receiving the download. And then in the second week, we'll anchor it down into the body by going into the root chakra. So taking the download and grounding it, finding how we feel connected to this, and how we feel aligned in our depths with it. So finding, our connection, our alignment, and our grounding with the inspiration that came in. And then we take it back up to the third eye, and this is the week where we will be using inner knowing to help see where there's old programming that needs to be cleared away for new programming and new creation to come in, and tapping into any inner knowings we have that can help us have vision with this, sight with it, so some longer term planning and strategy with it. And then we go back down into the sacral chakra. And so we take all these things the insights we've had and the understandings of maybe what's needed to be cut in terms of old programming, and we sort of transmutate that, we alchemize it and free up new energy to come in and start to move and feel a sensitivity and connect to some emotionality and fluidity around what this download is. So like beyond just anchoring it in and feeling connected to it, now we're kind of moving with it and feeling how it feels to us, which might help us to mold something about this or move something about it, and getting creative with it. But in the beginning, there does have to be some sort of alchemy that helps to take things we've seen that we need to cut away and sort of move it out of us as well, in order to get to moving it into us in a more fluid, creative way. And then we go back up into the throat chakra. And this is where, now that we've felt this energy, moved it, maybe molded something about it, there's something we probably want to speak at this point, release at this point. And so this is the reading where we'll connect to where there may be blocks around oppression or repression that need you to express something in order to open the gates and let it vibrate out in the world, resonate out in the world by you speaking your truth and releasing any blocks here. And then we go back down into our solar center, and this is where we find our core value with this, which gives us confidence and willpower and connection to manifesting and real sort of vitality around this to kind of charge forward and stake our claim in whatever this download has kind of turned into at this point. And then we end the series anchoring into our heart chakra, which is the center chakra of all. And it's where things fully integrate into us. So now at the end of this spiral of creation, something is trying to fully integrate here, which then opens our heart, helps us to radiate and be the presence of it and just be it. Be whatever the presence of this download ends up transforming into in this creation cycle. And in my opinion, this spiral of creation and working with the chakras this way, where we then really integrate something into our hearts, to me it's like the heart is the key that turns something on that then awakens the chakra as we're used to, the chakra system as we're used to hearing about it with like a kundalini rising. So I feel like we need to go through this spiral process and really anchor into our heart, which becomes a key that creates that kundalini rising, that ignites all the chakras fully on and rising up and creating an awakening. And then we start again. It's like that awakening makes us fully open again, and then we're ready to receive a new download, a new inspiration, and a new message for a new spiral of creation. That's how I see it anyway. The dream spell system, they actually call these the 7 radial plasmas, but I think most people are more familiar with the chakra terminology. That system doesn't necessarily talk about that being the key for the kundalini rising. That's sort of my own opinion, and as I've worked this pattern a lot over the last couple of years, that's sort of how I feel like it works for me, at least. So this is where I'm going to leave you. Definitely go back to the first reading and do these in order if you're here for the first time at a later on reading. And you can definitely skip over this series intro now that you have seen it in the other readings, but definitely sometimes it's nice to have a refresher too. So if you feel like you need that, you know, maybe at the first one you watch this and the second and third you don't need to, but then at the fourth you're like, oh, I need to refresh with that. You know, whatever works for you. But once you've seen this once, don't feel like you need to watch it every time. So after this intro that will be at the start of each of the 7 readings, we will go into the intro for the actual reading. So I will see you in the intro for whichever reading you are at. All right, see you guys. Hello, welcome to CosmoMuse Tarot and to the Solar Plexus Stop Within the Circle of Creation Tarot series that I'm doing. So second to last reading, we'll only have the heart chakra after this. So first of all, congratulations if you've made it this far. I hope that this is really empowering for you. I hope you are connecting to your chakras in a deeper, more creative, intricate, exciting way. And I'm excited for the solar plexus chakra because I really feel like this is the one where we come into some manifesting power through this creation, spiral of creation sort of journey with the chakras. So just to kind of go through, in case a lot of you have probably skipped the intro to the series that's before this because you've probably seen it, but just to kind of give you a refresher of what we've come through to get to our solar plexus. So we got our initial inspiration from our crown chakra, and so either an insight, a download, an inspiration, and that is particular to you, and that's the thing that we're kind of taking through, you know, so it's up to you to take that thing that you got through each of the chakras. So we went from that initial inspiration down into our root chakra, where we connected this into our own kind of depths and soul and found how we aligned and belonged, found some sort of belonging for this inspiration within us, which then gave us a green light to push this forward into our lives. And then from the root chakra, we went back up to the third eye, which is where we got some both inner knowing through our own sort of histories and past lives, and general intuition, as well as some foresight about where this can go, what kind of path this could open up for us, or the path to create to help this inspiration unfold in our lives. So some, you know, that third eye is both some inner knowing as well as some foresight and planning. And then we went down to our sacral chakra, where we took that kind of foresight, which helped us to see also any old programming we needed to kind of break out of. And so anything that had to kind of be shed in order for our third eye to kind of see the path ahead and really connect to our inner knowing, in our sacral chakra, we then alchemized that and really tuned into our own sensitivity, fluidity, emotion with that stop on the spiral of creation, which may have started to take some sort of, you know, giving some sort of shape to this even in our outer world, starting to find some form and function and movement, but still in sort of a personal way here. And then we went up to our throat chakra, which was our last, so you're probably coming from the throat chakra, which is from the sacral. We then find some truths that we need to express out in the world around this, and expression in general. And we started to push this, you know, whatever, you know, our initial inspiration has probably gone through some mutation here. So wherever this inspiration is, by the time the throat chakra comes, there's some truths that need to come out to push this vibration out further into the outer world. So the throat chakra is where we really put this out there into the world, and using our voices, using our expression in an outward fashion really kind of helps to shatter and clear away blocks in the outer world. So now we are coming into our solar plexus chakra, and this is a really big one. So where the root chakra gave us, where we found some sort of connection to be able to get a green light for the go-ahead with the inspiration, that was sort of a go-ahead in terms of like bringing this into ourselves and into our lives in kind of an inner way. The solar plexus, we've already gotten a little bit of feedback through the throat chakra about the outer world, which is now helping us to find that resonance and connection outwardly, getting even some mirroring there, to help us feel motivated, excited, and connect to our willpower and core values to really say green light for out in the world. I am pushing this out there. I am going to start acting upon this. I'm going to start shining this into the world. I'm going to start this starts to come into a little bit of my presence and agenda in a very outward fashion. And I'm going to find the willpower I need to follow through and to manifest here, because I feel very positive, connected, aligned, and instinctually alive with this. So a really exciting reading ahead. We're really going to tap into where there may be some blocks in terms of getting this spiral of creation into your solar plexus, and then we'll get to know your solar plexus a little bit, how it tends to generally like to act in the world, so you can pick up on like the signs and synchronicities that your solar plexus may be starting to take your spiral of creation out there, like ways to recognize that's happening. And then at the very end, we'll get some guidance from spirit, some ally and some guidance from spirit for you for this particular spiral of creation, and whatever you are taking through your spiral of creation, just a message from spirit of we're going to look at a directional it wants to give you, as well as an ally it wants to give you for your journey through through solar plexus chakra in this spiral of creation. Okay, so I know that was a lot to get through. Some of it was probably a refresher, but just, it's good to have refreshers though. So we've got 4 piles. It's the same decks that I've used that, they all had some chakra cards within them, and we're not going to use these actual cards in the reading. They're placeholders, but just, solar plexus chakra cards from 4 different decks. So pile 1, we have the solar plexus card from the Sigil Oracle. Pile number 2, we have the solar plexus card with a keyword miracle from the Wisdom of the Chakras Oracle. Pile 3, we have a solar plexus card from the Yogic deck. And pile number 4, we have the solar plexus card, or for them, they call it the core, from the Your Wise Animal Body Oracle. Okay, for those of you that like the breath work that I lead for helping to tune into both your intuition as well as higher self and some inspiration, we'll do that now. If you have your own process, you can pause and do that, and timestamps are in the descriptions. Okay, so if you are here for the breath work, let's get into that. So place your feet firmly on the ground. Feel its stability and solidity under you. Feel it holding you. And now breathe into your body and into that sensation of stability, like into the grounding. Hold that for a minute. And then exhale. Now take another deep breath in, and this time suck that air up, up, up into the space between your brows. Hold that there. Suck in a little bit more to add pressure. Hold, and then out loud exhale, opening up your crown chakra. And then gaze over the different cards and piles and just ask which one has the correct aligned message for you and your solar plexus. Okay, I will see you in your readings. Hello, pile one. Welcome to your solar plexus spiral of creation reading. You guys chose the card from the Sigil Oracle, so we're just gonna place this over here kind of as an anchor point. And definitely a sense I get from it's interesting, I haven't done this in the previous chakra readings, but for whatever reason I'm feeling it important to say, like, you guys have a very clear solar plexus in general. There may be some blocks currently to get through, but like generally I think there's like, not in a negative or immature sense, but there is a simplicity to your solar plexus in really just understanding what it is and getting on with things and just being kind of solid and stable. I just love the simplicity of this card. I mean, it's intricate at the same time, but it's just like very clear. And so that's just sort of a general, side note sense I got for you guys. So looking at currently, this top row, we're going to look at energies currently around your solar plexus that give us insight into things we either need to know around things that need to be cleared, or some timing, or just some insight that's needing to be brought in right now to help you get your solar plexus sort of open and ready to receive this spiral of creation into it. So I'm definitely feeling like whatever is coming through in this spiral of creation, whether it initially started this way or is just mutated into this, it's feeling very aspirational to you right now. You may be connecting to wanting to find some mastery with what's coming through you, or some position in the world, or just something big you're reaching for. And so you're really going to need that full clear power of your solar plexus. I'm feeling like it's going to need to be on and really filled with that willpower that the solar plexus gives. So I think that's just more of a note coming through from spirit about like, get ready sort of thing. It doesn't feel like a block to me. We'll see when we do the confirmation cards if there's a block to that or not, but at this point feels like just heads up. And then the sun for this card, it says light and sun. I actually feel this in connection to the Magi card. I feel like these are having a conversation with each other. This is giving some guidance around something that, is feeling does need some clearing in your solar plexus to make it just, to get it into that clear, strong, powerful, like just that really clear place. Whether this is just something that's kind of coming through in your energy currently, or if it could be generally like an ability you have, is like sometimes you might be too smart for your own good kind of thing coming through here. And I don't know if it's you're too smart for your own good right now or around what's coming in, or if it's general, it's, whatever resonates to you. But sometimes when our intelligence is in overdrive and we're really able to see life in a multitude of dimensions and many ways and avenues and paths to take any one thing. Sometimes we can get a little bit showy with that and wanting to sort of like run circles around people with it and doing it for kind of a thrill. Versus being, switching into using this more as a way to challenge people to see, different dimensions and paths and possibilities in a way that will ultimately empower them. So in doing it to help them, not to kind of like impress or, trick or whatever it is. So there's something here, it's like you're needing to connect to a more luminous way of using this really dynamic, intelligent energy in you at the moment, to being, like more luminous, more bright, to illuminating clarity for others will help you to find your own clarity in self and kind of settle this like overactive intelligence that's coming in at the moment. Let's do some tarot cards as confirmation to get a little more context with all of this. 5 of Cups. So, interesting. Yeah, and so 5 of Cups, and I'm also suddenly seeing 3 and 6 adding up to 9. I think maybe one aspiration you've had is starting to close off for you. And this spiral of creation that's coming in is trying to bring your focus to a different aspiration, to a different goal, a different focus. But I think there's some attachment to, I feel you already have this sense of like you need to walk away from something that you've really aspired for or toward. I think you already know this. And see this hand here, it's like there's still just this little attachment, but it's really hard for you to really just finally let go, even though you already know it's over. But all you have to do is look up. I'm getting the sense that this like palace or whatever it is actually this palace on the hill here. Let me see if I can get a better view here. And it's like all you need to do is look up and kind of scan the horizons, look towards whatever illuminating force is in the sky for you or whatever is drawing some light in your life. Look towards the light. Again, the sun tying into this now. And we have a sun here as well, because there's an aspiration right in front of you that's so much more aligned, so much healthier, so much more exciting, and it really holds some pinnacle energy for you. It's the right path. And I feel like the minute you see it, the minute you look up and look towards something light in your life, it's going to be really easy to walk away from the thing you already know you need to walk away from. So I just feel like there's maybe some sadness in you right now that's kind of making it hard for you to connect to your solar plexus. But the minute you kind of identify this new aspiration and really look towards the light and look up, all will be well, and you're going to have a very different and exciting and revived and vital aspiration come through, and it's really going to ignite your solar plexus. We have 2 suns up in this row. It's like, yeah, do what you need to do. Take your time to grieve what you might need to be grieving right now. Let go of what you need to be letting go of right now. But I do get the message coming through of like, but try to look up, try to look towards the light, because there's something right I mean, it's like right in front of you. That's so beautiful and so aligned, and it's really going to like turn the on switch onto your sun. And it will be this clear. The way I felt the clear, you know, that you have the potential to have a very clear, bright, strong solar plexus, it will turn on again that way. And it's like you will observe it. You'll be able to very clearly see it the way these people very clearly are watching it, and they're so close to it. And, you know, it's, yeah. And then the 6 in this card, it's like balance restored. Yeah. Let's get a confirmation on both of these since I kind of tied the sun into this initially. Let's get both of those out before yeah, balance restored. Yeah, there's a story going on here. Okay. And then King of Wands. Yeah, as soon as you can kind of find that aspiration, I feel like this dynamic intelligence that is showing up as a block for you right now, I don't feel like you usually use it in the way it's coming across at the moment. I think you're very used to having this very on, clear solar center, but when it gets clogged up or when there's a sadness and it's sort of switched off, that intelligence doesn't know what to do with itself when you're not moving forward the way the solar plexus helps us to do. And so you start getting a little bit like tricky with your intelligence and kind of using it to see how you can manipulate life. And I think it's not like, I'm not saying this is a bad thing. It's not a bad thing about you. I'm just trying to help you to understand that when that happens, and I think you kind of know when you're doing that, just trying to posture and run circles around others, it's more because you're a little lost, and so your intelligence just needs to do something, and so it just gets sort of thinks, oh, maybe if I can impress or use this to kind of run circles, like I'll feel better about myself, or I'll figure out what's blocking me, you know. But what it's saying is stop doing that towards others, and look towards what's luminous. Look up, look towards what's light. I think it's always, you know, I think there's always a really clear, strong light present in your life, and you just have to like practice looking towards that and for it and up. When you get in this off switch with your solar plexus, yeah, and it reestablishes your balance, and then you're able to use this magi energy that's able to see things in so many dimensions and so many possibilities around any one thing. You're able to use that to bring mastery to your life, to be a leader, to look out for others, and really stand as like a strong pillar of strength, especially creatively with all of this sun energy. And you know, the peacock here, well, actually I don't know if this is a peacock or a phoenix, kind of both. But yeah, in just this like brilliant magical way. So yeah, the clear message here is like, when you feel your solar energy as switched off, just do your best to try and look up and towards what's light in your life, and it will really help to, yeah, rebalance you, flip it back on, and move your really dynamic intelligence towards more of a leadership and empowering factor versus a posturing or tricky energy. And it might not be as dramatic as I'm making it sound there. I certainly don't get the impression that a lot of people that come to these readings are really tricky people. But there may just be, you know, like an insecurity that comes on in your intelligence, because I do feel like you're very intelligent, kind of when you're not moving forward, just doesn't know what to do. And so it gets a little postury maybe. But the flip side of that is this amazing, commanding, empowering way of using your intelligence. So sometimes when we have amazing gifts, they come with shadows, you know, and so this is just some instruction on how to stay in the light versus the shadow of that. So really cool. So yeah, look up towards the light. Try to scan the horizon. If you're letting go of something right now, you know, it's fine. We can take our time with that. But if you feel like you're kind of running, your mind is like out of control, your intelligence is running around in circles, you know, put some effort into looking up and looking for things that feel bright and luminous in life and around you and out there on the horizon. It's trying to connect you to new hopes, new aspirations, new goals. Okay, moving on from that, we are on this lower row going to look more generally at aspects of your solar plexus in a universal way, not just in this moment. So this first card is about how you build relationship with your solar plexus. So like what kind of relationship you have with it and how to build a stronger relationship. Beautiful. You've got commitment, card 13. The frequency of commitment supports our ability to devote ourselves in all aspects of our being and with unwavering belief. Yeah, and I feel that, again, going back to just like that strong impression I got with this really clear, bold, powerful solar plexus. Yeah, I think when you are in that, you know, when it's on, when your solar plexus is on and clear, I think you have no problem just feeling that, like committing to your willpower, committing to a focus, committing to a goal, and just like going. Yeah, really beautiful. Let's get a confirmation for some context. Oh, beautiful. Ace of Cups. So it's just like a generator too. Like you really, like when you're on and you know what it is you're going for in the world and doing in the world, your confidence, your willpower is like on an unstoppable generator. Like the cup is constantly overflowing when you are clear and have a direction. And when you give your commitment, it's like you could probably stay up for 5 days and nights and not even notice. Like that's the amount of energy, amount of, generative, deeply connected, soulful power even that you've got there. Yeah, so look for, those things that you really feel like you can commit to because they really energize you. And I feel like you just have a deep power and strength through commitment in the world. Okay, this next one we are going to look at when your solar plexus is healthy and active, like what are some of the patterns you will see in your life? Ooh, really cool. Imagination. I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. We already saw that up here. Yeah, you're very, there's an intelligence there, but this is illuminating, and I'm not surprised with the wands energy that came out with the Magi. It's very creative, imaginative. So when your solar plexus is active, on, and healthy, it's like your creative mind, it just feels alive. You'll feel patterns of your mind and your creativity just feeling full of inspiration, imagination, just flow, and even whimsy. Okay, let's get a confirmation on this. Beautiful. 10 of Cups. also an ability, which doesn't surprise me with the Magi and King of Wands that came up here, and the amount of intelligence you have, and the amount of commitment you're capable of with your willpower and your solar plexus, is really being able to hold very, very big boundaries in a very calm and wise way, which brings about a lot of harmony, a lot of beauty, a lot of heart connection. Yeah, it's really gorgeous. And definitely with the imagination here, it's like really big. Yeah, when you're out, you're committed, you're pushing things in the world, you're going, you're asserting yourself, making things happen. It's like you really put big picture creative ideas out into the world, like creative ideas that connect on like a collective level in really, really big, impressive ways. And ways that people are, because there's so much ability to hold complexity, is like hard not to watch and look at and admire and want to be part of. And yeah, it's like you create an orbit of energy around you with your creativity, when you're active and asserting in the world, that just, yeah, people want to look at. So really cool, beautiful. Okay, and then this last card, before we go to the ending part of the reading, is looking at when your solar plexus is processing and integrating the spiral or anything that comes into it. What is its process and what does that feel like? So I'm using the Spiral Oracle in this reading for this card. So it's going to be a little bit of I'm going to read from the book for it, and it's, going to be up to you guys to interpret what comes out in a way that makes sense to you. So it says becoming world. Let's see what this says. I have some thoughts already. I feel like you create worlds. And so like when things are integrating into your solar plexus, it's like you know how to world build in a way with all that imagination and dimensional ability with your intelligence. But let's read what it says in the book. Disharmony amidst thought, feeling, and action usually reveals itself via physical discomforts. Feeling repressed emotions such as guilt produces immense changes in my biology. I am like an iceberg. There is so much hidden below the water that I can't even glimpse the infinity of my territories. When I don't have resources to listen to myself, my physical body is the one communicating the messages. My body speaks my truth to me. Ooh, that's cool. When I feel pain and I try to resist it or avoid it, I suffer. When I pay attention to my pain, going there, embracing it, and taking all the time I need to recover my dynamic balance, I learn how to transit through any physical, emotional, or spiritual discomforts. If I am connected to my mind and body, I grow stronger, I stay stronger. What does it mean for me to be healthy? And then responsibility. I am responsible for my thoughts, my feelings, my emotions, and my actions. I forgive others and I forgive myself, acknowledging mistakes. With patience and a sense of humor, it is me who brings peace to my life. I love this for you guys. Especially this like the responsibility note for you, connected with what we saw with the Magi. When your solar plexus is integrating and processing something to incorporate into it, is when you step into a certain sense of responsibility. Instead of kind of letting your intelligence run wild, you sort of, I think your body speaks to you when your mind is like off leash, and it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And it gives you the information you need. And when you are really processing and your solar plexus, is integrating things, it's like you're listening to your body, you're looking up towards what's luminous and acknowledging sort of the things and patterns you're needing to let go of, and you're taking responsibility for your part in things, and you're taking responsibility for the sensations in your body and connecting them to responsibility and how you've been feeling and thinking and connecting and communicating and all of those things. And it's like when you can, when that solar plexus is integrating, you will feel yourself taking accountability for things that are kind of rampant in your life or just a little bit tumultuous, I feel like. Yeah, so it's really beautiful. But I also am sticking with what I felt here. I feel like also as you take responsibility and really look at things you're needing to let go of, especially patterns, and looking up with a more, accountable, for my, I'm accountable for how my body feels, which means I have to be accountable for how I think and how I feel, and pay attention to these things and acknowledge them and use those as information in my life. It's like, yeah, you're really getting that in your solar plexus. You feel that accountability come through, and you feel yourself looking up, and you start to feel your world rebuilding itself. And in the more imaginal realm, an ability to kind of world build in general, whether that's fiction wise or envisioning, our world in the future type of thing, either way or both. Okay, let's get a confirmation on this. Two of Swords. Yeah, I feel like what's coming through with that is when you feel like you're at a stalemate and you don't know which way to go, that's when you really need to notice those things that come up in your body, and then use those things that come up in your body to help connect you to your patterns of emotion and thought. And that will help you to start that mode of taking responsibility for these, how, the way you think, the way you feel, the way your body is presenting pains or aches or whatever in your life. And it's like, just, looking to your body first helps you to get off the fence of like feeling like you're stalled in some way. Yeah, really cool. Okay, moving on to the last part of this reading. In terms of, even though it's going to be, we already have, I'm going to take this lava for you guys, but hold on one second. In terms of whatever it is, it's individual to each of you, whatever you're bringing through your spiral of creation. But I do want to get an ally from Spirit for you guys to help you with this spiral of creation, getting into your solar plexus and integrating into your solar plexus. So you guys got lava, and this is from the Untamed Elemental. So it's kind of an elemental sort of ally that wants to, be with you. Let me find, I don't know if I haven't used this deck much, and I think it's organized by like certain categories that I'm not familiar with, so I need to figure out where lava is. Let's see, water, it wouldn't be under water, it wouldn't be under air, there's probably a fire. Yeah, fire, I bet it's in here. It could be Here we go. Okay. Courage. Volcanoes are portals to the heart of our earth, ablaze with emotional fire. When they erupt, lava pours forth, covering the old and outdated while forging new pathways. Lava scorches everything in her path, a searing field of anger. But when she cools, she forms dynamic new landscapes, world building, that are fertilized by nutrient-rich ash. And I love that volcano. I mean, that connects to that, just like that clear, pure fire, solar energy I get from your solar chakra. Lava guides you to locate the fiery core within yourself. This period of change and transformation requires courage. Yeah, and I do get that sense there's something you're letting go of, but there's a new thing that's really going to light you up. And we see like the sun in this is almost like lava coming out of it. I really think that on button is coming for you guys. It is important to access your internal magma and the deep desire that brought you where you are. You must hold yourself steady while old and unuseful paths and ideas are consumed around you. Yeah, when you turn on, when you look up to the horizon and look towards the light and get turned on, the things you're having to let go of are going to be just transformed, covered. They're just not even going to even be a second thought at that point. Once your molten courage cools, the past is simply a prologue and the future transforms into a lush and fertile landscape, waiting for something new to take root and thrive. When balanced, determined, courageous; when imbalanced, averse to experiencing the intensity of life. To bring into balance, have a ceremony and ask nature for inspiration, guidance, and guardianship. Wow, I mean, this feels like a really perfect ally for you guys, and it very much so aligns with what I felt up in these, what you needed to know in terms of, blocks or insight to help open your solar plexus. Is like there is just this like real clear on switch when, with your solar plexus. When it's on, it's on. And there is something that needs to be covered over and become part of your past that I think you're just, it's fine. You have to process and take time to let go of attachments, but it's sort of like the minute you can kind of look up and get that turned on with that new horizon in sight, that past will really just live in the past for you, like, and instantaneous, like the volcano. It just happens so quickly. Okay, and now we're going to get a simple little guidance from Spirit about a directional for you. What kind of direct action do you need to take? And it says the healer. Yeah. There's definitely kind of dual messages. It's like, there's something I think you're letting go of. It's okay to take your time with that. But I also think that as you're able to flip that switch back on, that healing will also really come in very quickly. So it's sort of a two-part, take your time to mourn certain things. That's one part of the healing, but another part is the going forward and letting the past be covered over and a new world be molded. So kind of two-part healing there. Just give yourself some grace with it, whatever that is that's you seem to be maybe needing to leave in the past right now, but know that what's coming is going to be very, very exciting and very bright. So, all right, this is where I'm going to leave you guys. I'm so proud of you if you've made it this far into the spiral of creation, and really grateful that you're along for this journey. I've found it very illuminating myself as well. And if this resonated, I always appreciate thumbs up. I'm always grateful to get little notes as well that are kind. And Definitely subscribe if you're not yet. I would assume at this point, if you're at this reading, you are subscribed, but in case not, please do so. All right, see you guys. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to your solar plexus reading. And congratulations for making it this far in the spiral of creation. So you guys chose the solar plexus card from the Wisdom of the Chakras Oracle. And you have this keyword miracle on the bottom of yours specifically, which is interesting. And I'm not quite sure how that is going to tie into your reading, but I want to be open to that coming in some form. So I'm just going to place this to the side and see when it feels right to tie something back to that. But I am feeling that that is important in some way. Okay, to start this reading, we are going to look at this top row to get insight and information from Spirit about what you're needing to do at this juncture to really get your solar plexus open and clear for this spiral of creation to come through, for you to be able to kind of like charge out into the world and find some willpower and confidence to kind of put this spiral of creation out there and start manifesting things with this. Okay, so first we have opposition. And I am absolutely seeing kind of a story unfold. So you've got opposition, you've got joy and music, and then you've got the revolutionary. And it feels like, you know, sometimes these cards come out and they feel very individual to themselves, and sometimes they connect, and sometimes all of them feel like this fluid story. And that's what I'm feeling here. Is I feel like there's something you're grappling with right now. I think that in general you are somewhat of a free thinker, somewhat of a iconoclast, someone who can really read collective energy, can read trends, can see where things are going, hence able to envision where they should go, which can make you a leader, and it can make you someone with a target on their back if people don't like what kind of revolutionary ideas you're bringing forth, because it can shake things up and it can really pinpoint certain things in people that don't want to be pinpointed. It can make certain things obsolete about the past. It can all sorts of things. But currently, even though you generally have this energy, is what I feel like. I don't feel like this is a right now issue. This feels like probably insight for you in general around clearing blocks for allowing you to feel assertive power in the world. Is I think there's a tension in you about having this energy within you. I think sometimes it doesn't feel what is the word I'm feeling? It doesn't feel like you have permission to be this. And I think you've even gone through journeys of trying to be like, well, I don't need permission except for my own permission, but there's still like something about this that you're needing to clear generally, to really generally clear your solar plexus. There may be, in recent times, I even want to say years, it may have been difficult for you to really act in the world, because like something about this feels like an archetype within you, and something that your solar plexus is fighting for some reason. Some way of like getting over and really embracing and accepting the fact that you are just going to ruffle feathers. You are going to shake things up. And what I'm feeling coming through, and some advice from Spirit, is I think sometimes you get stuck, in like head butts, either with yourself or with something out in the world, of like seeing things a little too black and white in terms of how is this going to bring negative attention my way, or how is this going to affect people I love, or how am I going to be seen, or whatever it is. And it's sort of like there's maybe a more dynamic way to, instead of getting locked in these kind of black and white fears, is what it's coming through as, is like needing to just move. Like I really think music is like your healing balm to kind of get creative, get out of these headlocks, these locked horns with things that you're struggling with, dualistic things that you're struggling to kind of find pathways with, and accept sort of your somewhat outrageousness, I want to say. I don't know why outrageous came through, but anyway, I think you find some of the things that want to come out of you outrageous. That's what it is. It's like part of you is like a real traditionalist and part of you is a real revolutionary. That's what it is. And so you're constantly in this headlock. And it's like, if you can get into more fluid spaces more often, you'll find better ways of not being in a headlock and being able to see where there are like more universal truths that can merge these and harmonize these two sides of yourself, the traditionalist and the revolutionary. There's ways to really creatively that's what's coming through. It's like you're always scared of throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Not every revolution needs to torch everything to the ground. There are some things that work, and I think you are able to see that. So you're like, oh, how do I go? It's like a delicate balance. How do I go about bringing in the new while still preserving the things that do work? I don't have to reinvent the whole wheel. I just need to make the wheel better, kind of thing. And it's sort of like, so it's a delicate balance you're always seeing, but it's really, it's really mature though. It's really advanced and mature to not kind of go out there and be like, let's just burn it all down, and being like, there are some things that need to go, and I have revolutionary ideas, but there are some things that are really valuable that over being tested over time have proven themselves time and again and should be, respected and valued and incorporated. And so it's always this delicate balance you're walking, and sometimes you get in a headlock of not quite knowing how to move that, or which side to be more on the side of, or, it's like whatever it is to you, whatever resonates to you. Maybe it's like the two sides of yourselves fighting, or there could even be different issues in your life where you're like, well, a part of me thinks this thing is outdated and a part of me thinks it's not. And so you get sort of like, what do I do here? And it's like you need to find ways to get into more fluid space and ease up on that tension. Like it gets too tense to the point where things might just snap before you can take action and be assertive here. But if you can find some fluidity and some movement, really just like get into your body and find some intuition and some fluidity, it's like you'll find the exact right tension and the exact right things to keep and the exact right things to throw away and the exact right envisioning of what could be. And it's like everything composes if you can ease up on focusing on the tension and find that fluidity. And you'll know it's like you can feel it when you find that right harmony that brings you out of that too tense of a thing. Because it's just like inspiration hits that feels miraculous. It feels like you've pulled the right concoction, composition out of thin air, and it's just like, oh, you get it, like it just clicks what action needs to be taken. And I think it's been a while since you've felt that. I think you've been in this tense confrontation with yourself for some time now. I think there's been moments in your life where you've really done well with this. But yeah, something in me is just feeling like it's been hard. Our world really has gone through some crazy times the last several years, and I think that may have something to do with it. It's just like so much is changing so rapidly, and I feel like that natural tension you hold has just kind of been buckling under that, and so it's been hard for you to take action and find that harmonious composition and that way forward that feels like a miracle in terms of knowing how to act and assert. Okay, let's find some confirmation cards, get a little more context here. Yeah, I think you really are eager and ready to start putting something into action. Yeah, let's see. Yep, yeah. Okay, hold on. One more card here. Well, 2 came out. I think we need 2 because there's a lot to fill through here. Oops, so 5 of coins and 2 of coins. Okay. Yeah, your values are changing. You're trying to figure out what needs tossing out. In order to balance the new with the old. There are certain things that need to go, and you're in the process of going through a really deep transformation in your values, and I think it's been a several-year process. But I feel that energy coming through, that you're eager to get going. You're eager, I feel like you're there, and you're starting to streamline what's working and what isn't, and finding your balance. But you're still stiff. You're still needing to really get into some music, some breathing, some fluidity, feel your emotions to kind of shed some weight here. You're carrying too many thoughts, too many things in your heart, too much. You're carrying too much, and it's like you just need to move and shake it off, get into your body, lighten up. And this process is quite a natural process you've been going through. It just kind of trust in that process, that you're really close to clicking into your new values and really understanding the balances that you need, what to keep, what to toss, what to envision, where to go with things. But you need to move. Not just, I think music with your movement is great, but I think you need to run. You need to run, you need to dance, you need to breathe hard, build some fire, reconnect to your fire. And I think it's going to click soon. To me, this is more about a process and some insight for you of what's going on and why you're maybe frustrated right now. But you're on the precipice. This is coming through, and this is just some insight to be be patient, but also, move, get into music, feel your feelings, get embodied, and the natural process that's taking place that is the thing that will really help it to click and help it to just download into you and to feel that right quality of tension instead of over tense and overburdened. So move, breathe, put music on. Get into embodiment and movement here. Okay, we are going to move down to this bottom row to look at more of some universal information about your solar plexus chakra. So the first one is going to be your relationship card. What is your relationship with your solar plexus, and how do you build relationship with your solar plexus? So, interesting. You've got the second chakra here. Oh, okay. The energy of the sacral chakra helps us to navigate our lives through our emotions and supports our ability to enjoy the sensual world. Yeah, I think because of this kind of dual revolutionary and traditionalist archetypes you've got clashing in you, in order to find that click to have the green light from your solar plexus to move forward and to assert, you have to move. You have to have a really deep relationship with your sacral to feel those feelings, to feel those tensions, and to embody them and move them. And there's something just about feeling them and being embodied that solves that. It's not an intellectual thing. I think you sometimes maybe, with the headbutt, you sometimes get in mind locks with this, but if you can get in more into feeling your feelings and moving them in you and feeling your body, that's the thing that solves it. And that's the thing that really builds your relationship with your solar plexus. And that's how you relate to your solar plexus. So I think beautiful insight coming through here of like, stop headbutting and getting in these mind tensions, and just when you start feeling that, you need to get into your body, because that's the thing that works it out. Yeah, really cool. Okay, let's get a confirmation card for that. Ooh, the Empress. Yeah, I mean, that's very much so another energy that I would associate with the solar plexus, or the sacral, the second chakra. When you can move that tension and into your solar plexus and feel the feelings that come from that, hence start to find those miraculous right tensions and ways to move forward and assert into the world, everything becomes incredibly fertile in your life. And you move from feeling some scarcity and some unsurety about your values to feeling really confident, really fertile, really creative. So that's gorgeous. Okay, the next card we are going to look at is when your solar plexus is active and healthy, what are patterns you are going to see in your life? That doesn't surprise me. Courage. It says, I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. Yeah, I do feel like you vacillate through feeling a lot of fear about what your solar plexus wants you to do, and feeling very courageous and eager to push it out there. But when your solar plexus is active and healthy, you will be in that courage. You will feel that courage, and you will feel confident, and you will feel like your fears are things that are easily overcome, that you push through and conquer. And you're really, courage to me is also a word very connected to the heart. So I do feel like even though your sacral is a thing that helps you to build your relationship with your solar plexus, when it's on, it's also very connected to your heart chakra, which is really beautiful energy to have there. So when you are on, when you are active, when your solar plexus is going, you are coming in, you are using a lot of heart there as well in how you assert, in the kind of willpower you generate, and the kind of confidence that you channel. It's coming from a very heart-centered place, which is another maybe reason why miracle has shown up, because I would associate the heart with the thing that can create the miracles. And that feels even more poignant here, actually, is like you will feel like miraculous things are happening in your life when you notice that courage coming up, which means your solar plexus is on and it's really in touch with your heart too. Queen of Swords as a confirmation here, and a very sharp intelligence, but that is looking for the highest good in things, and looking out for people, and very concerned about doing right. You know, there's an emotional quality to any queen, but the Queen of Swords is the most logical and intelligent and coming from mind, but she still has that emotional quality and that nurturing quality. So your courage is very intelligent and very sharp at the same time, but in a way that is looking for the highest good, to care for others, to care for what you're doing as being nourishing to the world, to the collective, to the revolution you're connecting to, and the traditions you're wanting to keep. And I would imagine, as the Queen of Swords, you have that capacity to hold, because I do connect Queen of Swords very much so with like a Libra energy. This ability to really harmonize different things, to bring some, tried and true, time-tested things that work, and some really revolutionary new envisioning of future possibilities, and knowing how to balance those and how to bring them together and how to create the diplomacy, because you can see the marriage there for the good of everyone, for the nourishment of a movement, of the planet, of a collective, whatever it is, of a group. Yeah, so really, really big, amazing energy there. Yeah, cool. Okay. This last card before we get to the ending part of the reading is looking at when your solar plexus is processing and trying to integrate things into it. What are kind of how does that feel, and what kind of things kind of come through you to help you know you're processing, your solar plexus is at work trying to process things? Ooh, I absolutely feel from what we've seen so far is that you revolutionize yourself. Your sense of self shifts too, and I think you go through big revolutionary changes in your statement of I am. And so sometimes I feel like when your solar plexus is blocked and not on, I think your sense of self can be a little bit unstable. And when it's turning back on and really working to integrate, your statements of I am, or your stability of having a strong sense of self, really starts to come alive in you and feel more centered and clear and strong. But let's see what the book says here. I am. In this holographic reality, and by the way, this is the Spiral Oracle. Okay. In this holographic reality, we function like mirrors. I mirror you and you mirror me. I look into my mirror. I look at you. I look at myself. I can clearly see myself when I observe you. The outside acts as a mirror for my mind when I see different qualities of my own essence, of my most primitive self reflected. I grew up in a fragmented society that made me believe in not being enough, not being valuable, not being capable. I often believed that I had a broken wing. This aspect of society is also my mirror, a very useful one, which can encourage me to take care of myself in harmful situations. It makes me appreciate life and see it from another perspective. It gives me an opportunity to educate and expand my vision of reality. I now see that not being is an illusion, is a veil based on a mistaken belief system and a projection of inherited fears. I pause and look at you again. I look at myself again. Seeing a spectrum of light and shadow, I assimilate the information received and I weigh it up. When I look at myself through harsh, closed, or authoritative mirrors, I have the opportunity to review my own violence, to set limits, to express myself, and to let go as necessary. I always deserve love. When I connect with sweeter, more loving and compassionate mirrors, I am filled with peace, connection to life and to my purpose. Because our humanity is in essence pure love, and that is one of my most beautiful reflections. I am. The act of observing says more about the observer than about what is observed. Silence. I rest in silence. Silence reveals the truth. From the silence, the answers spring. I am able to look beyond the story I have told myself and observe my current situation clearly. Today, I grow and heal with love. I am definitely, wow, that's a really big message. I'm definitely feeling that when your solar plexus is integrating and processing things, you become very observant, and by watching the world and watching others and watching your own emotions, like we've seen is important already, that observing helps you to connect and really listen into things and witness into things and see what about the world and what outside of us feels resonant in really true, powerful ways, which really helps to inform. I do think you tend to go through lots of changes in your values often, so that observing thing helps you to understand what you're resonating with and what you aren't, to help inform that center in you, that I am statement. So when things are processing in there, it's like you become very observant, and in that observational essence, you're getting a lot of resonant feedback of I connect with that, I don't connect with that, I connect with that. That's really evolving your own sense of who you are. And I think your sense of who you are is constantly in evolution. I think you push yourself really hard to kind of stay ahead of not the pack, but stay ahead of the curve in things. I think that the way you know your solar plexus is integrating new things is you become very observational, and you're connecting resonantly in different ways with what feels loving and what feels connected in you, and it really informs that evolution of self in a big way. Wow, you guys are really fascinating people and really big. When you can get out of your own way, big, kind of movers and shakers, I feel like. Okay, let's get a confirmation here. 2 of Wands. Yeah, I really also feel there that you help to, it's like you go ahead of the curve and things to help determine the right paths forward. There's a real pioneering aspect in the way you observe as you evolve yourself to help. That's not just a process for yourself. It's not like your solar plexus is only doing that to get a secure sense of self. You're doing it to push the evolution of the collective, of Earth, of a group, of your family, whatever it is. You're willing to push yourself at the frontier of things, and evolve right at the edge of things in order to find the right paths to lead people through and toward. Wow, huge, you guys. Okay, to end the reading, I want to bring a more specific, some specific guidance from Spirit for you guys for this specific spiral of creation coming into your solar plexus. I want to find a guide for you to help you to prepare your solar plexus, get it open, and to work with whatever comes in there with the spiral of creation. This one wanted to come out. So Gazelle is going to be your ally. Let's see, this is from the Untamed Elemental. And there we go. This is part, in this particular deck, the Gazelle is part of the Earth group. Okay, change of direction. Yeah, that doesn't shock me. Gazelle dances across the continental horizon, alert, light of foot, and vibrating with unstopped grace. His beauty is a spell cast upon the world. He approaches his environs with vigilance and is protected by the safety of the herd. As one, they strive with confidence and bravery, surviving via telepathic, innate communication. Gazelle's capacity for imaginative improvisation allows him to outsmart and outrun his predators. His name comes from the Arabic word ghazal, meaning love poem, and this light and fast animal is drawn to you when it's time to change direction. When manifesting a desired outcome, there are phases when progress is slow or altogether absent. Man, so much in this is connecting to things we've talked about. Okay, I'm going to reread that. When manifesting a desired outcome, there are phases when progress is slow or altogether absent. Gazelle suggests that sometimes a solution comes through a sudden shift in perspective. A fresh and even drastically changed outlook offers great inspiration. Move decisively in new direction, and you have the opportunity to fall back in love with your original vision. Gazelle is a love poem, spontaneous and full of heart. And as you begin to embody these qualities, there is room for unimagined possibilities to emerge, miracles. Balanced, flexible in your process, agile. And I feel that with that music thing, like just that embodiment, that sacral, just get into your body and move. Imbalanced, stagnant, lethargic, listless, indecisive. Yeah, we've seen all of that. Okay, to bring into balance, write a love poem to your vision. I love that extra thing. Write a love poem to your vision. I love that. I think you guys should do that. Might help you to feel what your feelings are about and what your embodiment is about too. Beautiful. Okay, to end this, we're just going to get a simple message from Spirit about a directional for you. Our solar plexus always loves to give us direction and have direction. So we're going to get a direction from Spirit. Ooh, timing. And I do feel that. I do feel like, you know what I said, you go through these natural processes where you change your values because you're on the forefront of what, you know, what's valuable and what we should be valuing. And so you're constantly evolving in that regard. And it's just like, that's a process that takes time. And I think you guys know, like, the on and off with your solar plexus is just connected to timing because it goes through processes. But I think, you know, what we've talked about, embodiment, movement, writing a love poem, feeling your feelings, that really helps to navigate you to right timing, as well as it just being a process of timing. So there's a natural process of timing, but you can help that. You can help that timing be a little bit more fluid and a little more easy and a little more at peace and fertile by being embodied, by moving, by expressing a creative love poem about how you're feeling or about visions coming through, ideas, ideals. Yeah, all of that. So beautiful, really, really interesting reading, you guys. I mean, impressive energy when your solar plexus is on. So go, you guys. All right. Congratulations for making it this far. Just one more step on this spiral journey. We'll be in the heart chakra in next and last reading for this series. Okay, thank you for coming. Thank you for sticking through with this series. If this resonated, I always appreciate a thumbs up, and I always am grateful for those nice, kind comments you guys leave. It's always fun to see those. And in case at this point you're not subscribed yet, please do. But I would imagine at this point, if you're at this reading, you probably are. But yeah, in case not, please do. All right, see you guys. Hello, Pile 3. Welcome to your Solar Plexus Chakra reading in this tarot series, the Spiral of Creation, going through our chakras. So we're nearing the end here. This is the second to last chakra, and it's a really exciting one. So we're going to take a look at first anything you need to know, either about things that need some clearing, about timing, about just insight you might need to help open your solar plexus chakra and sort of prepare it for this spiral of creation to enter. And then we're going to, on the bottom row, look at some more general qualities of your universally, not just right now, how your solar plexus chakra works for you. And then at the very end, we'll pull a couple cards for guidance at this moment, for this spiral coming through you. We're going to find an ally for you and a directional piece of wisdom from Spirit. So all about your solar plexus, so how you find willpower. So we're taking what happened in the throat, where we found some truth that we needed to express. We found some expression and voice, and created some vibration, like initially pushing our spiral of creation out into the world. And through that, now we have sort of some feedback, some feel for, you know, what we might be up against, how things are feeling mirrored back to us, what the vibration feels like. And now we connect into our solar chakra with that and find sort of that, just like in the root chakra, where we found a green light to let this spiral of creation sort of enter into our field. The solar plexus is like the green light to charge forward out into the world with it. We've really integrated internally a lot of things about this initial download, and now it's time to start manifesting, finding willpower, confidence, and assertiveness here, and some luminosity as well to kind of share into the world and assert into the world. So looking at your current state of your solar plexus, sometimes these top cards have sort of told a story. Sometimes one or two of them will match, and sometimes they all feel separate. And as of right now, they do all feel like separate messages. So I'm going to go through them one by one, and then we'll see at some point if, for whatever reason, some of them might intermingle for a story, but right now they feel like three separate stories. So one thing to know, this feels more like, well, it could be different for each of you, so I'll go over for different scenarios. So something with a partnership is going on that could be timing that's needed in your solar plexus to open, something around a partnership to feel understood, or something to happen for a partner that helps turn something on for your solar plexus. Or for some of you, there may be just kind of a feeling of lackluster in a partnership and something needing to be figured out about that. To, you know, like looking at these two parrots, they feel very much so in sync, and then the blossoms around them, it's like life is flourishing. And it's sort of, I feel like Spirit is saying, like, this is what your solar plexus is wanting to feel right now in order to really open to more creation. So for some of you, there might be like a tension in a partnership that you're needing to kind of resolve. And for others, it might just be like timing. Something's like happening for a partner, or you and a partner are waiting on something. And when that happens, it's like your solar plexus will be more open for this spiral of creation to come in. because these are 3 separate as of now, I'm going to pull confirmation cards as we go instead of after we look at all 3 of these top. 9 of Swords. Yeah, so this is indicating there's something you're really worrying about. So whether, you know, on either scenario, whether you're waiting on timing for something or whether there's a tension in a relationship that needs resolving, it's something you're really sort of worried about. But at the same time, it's like you're letting your mind kind of run rampant, and it's creating narratives that may not all be true. So what I'm feeling the need to say is like, you need to confront this now. And I know that's hard if it's a timing thing. It's hard to confront that, but there's something I think you need to communicate or talk about, or even if that's like talking to a counselor or a good friend, or if you can talk to your partner. I think there's just like something that needs to be aired that will, in either scenario, kind of ease that and like dispel certain narratives you may be creating in your mind because you're not kind of diving headfirst into this something that's needing to kind of be cleared here. So it's saying, yeah, just be assertive about doing that right now, because that's going to help kind of turn your solar plexus chakra on in a more positive, open, prepared way. And then we've got 34, which is silence and snow. And this feels definitely like a timing thing to me. This showed up in one of the other chakra piles. I can't remember which one. I think it was the sacral chakra, so it wouldn't surprise me if some of you from that pile show up here. And it doesn't have to be, but if you've seen this card before, it wouldn't surprise me. This to me, and it feels the same. It feels like the same interpretation here, and that's why I feel like maybe some of the same people will be in this pile, is the cycles of life. You know, like we go through every year the 4 seasons, at least if you know, even if you don't live in a place that experiences the 4 seasons, you do experience shifts in the hours of daylight versus nighttime, and a shift in how direct versus oblique the sunlight is. You know, so even if you don't in weather feel huge shifts in season, there are shifts in light for season. And it's like right now you're just in a winter phase. There's something that's kind of frozen in you. You're really kind of surrendering into dream space, letting go of some old things, some old baggage, dreaming new things to life. And I feel like there's just like a thaw that's needed, like spring needs to come for you, not literally, metaphorically. A spring is needing to come in to create that thaw and let new life start to blossom and kind of really wash that old away that you're already detaching from. So your solar plexus right now may feel just like a little bit frozen, like your sense of joy, your sense of confidence, your sense of willpower just may feel a bit lackluster. And yeah, I don't feel like that's a problem. I don't feel like that's anything you need to do other than just kind of surrender into that and let timing do its thing. Let your internal seasons do their thing. There's just something you're going through that's just a natural process and a natural cycle. So just allow that to be there, and naturally as spring comes in our year, it will come for you. So just like patience with that. With your confirmation cards, Ace of Wands, which to me is a spring marker, that new passion, that new fire arising. And when I'm doing this reading, you may come at a different time, but I always feel like the timing of when I'm doing it does say something. We just started spring. We're in Aries season where I am. We've come over spring equinox, and even more so in like a esoteric sense, I also read where the North Node is in a chart, so the chart of now, as being a spring point 2. And we're coming into eclipse season, which relates to the, North and South Node. And the sun will be crossing that North Node at the end, like the very, very end of April, like the last day or two of April. So for me, that's about 3 weeks, 2.5 to 3 weeks. So and this is going to post probably a week after I even do it. So for you guys, like a week, which I like because I'm, trying to give a week between readings. So I would give it a week. I think you're really coming to the end of this winter cycle, a week to a week and a half. I think you're going to feel that natural kind of all of a sudden lightening up, waking up, kind of energy rising and restoring, but it's always nice to give yourself more restful time and downtime to rejuvenate in this winter cycle, so that when the light does turn on, when the sun comes up, you are refreshed, like you've had a good sleep, So it doesn't matter when you're coming. I do feel like that stands for everyone, a week to 10 days. I think that natural process is going to shift. Okay, last thing here to kind of be aware of, and either knowing, having insight about timing or preparation, or a block to clear, and this feels more like a block to clear to get your solar plexus ready, is needing to really better see something in yourself as a paradox, meaning you're able to hold some more complex things about yourself instead of feeling torn by two sides of you, or like why do I simultaneously feel like I am an incredibly lazy person and an incredibly hardworking person? And both can be true at the same time. And I think it's as simple as that. Whatever that statement might be for you, like fill into where that tension is. There's like something you're trying to figure out about yourself. Like, am I smart or am I not smart? Am I lazy or hardworking? Am I happy or sad? It could be even simple as that. Am I happy or am I sad right now? And it's like, don't try to grapple with that and figure out which you are. You can be both. You can hold both. In one area of life, maybe when it comes to housework, you're really lazy, and maybe when it comes to work, you're incredibly hardworking. We can be really multifaceted people, and very opposing statements about ourselves can be true. You can hold happiness and sadness at the same time. So I feel like there's something for you, and it's worth kind of starting to like journal about something, about where you're trying to figure out what you are, who you are, with like two opposing feeling things. And then just being like, well, just coming to this statement of I'm both. I hold both. I am both. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing I need to figure out about that. It's not odd. We are all filled with paradoxes. I can just let that be. So I think that's a very simple block that's feeling, but it's like something you're grappling with right now that you just kind of need to kind of let go of, and like, oh, I don't need to figure that out. I am just both. And then Four of Wands. Yeah, and it will really, actually, I love this. This ties back into this partnership thing. I feel like that tension may be something that exists for you in your relationship or in a partnership. Like, I am happy with my partner and angry with them. I am in love with them and I am frustrated with them. Or it could even be more simple, like I want to, and the Four of Wands, I always think of a celebration, like a marriage, and maybe it's sort of like I want to marry them, but I want my independence to remain. and you can still be married and have independence. I feel like there is something about a proposal, a marriage, maybe you're planning a wedding, or dreaming about a wedding, and there's just like something you need to think less black and white with around it, and allow it not to have to match certain expectations, or like your circumstance does not need to look like how your parents did or match expectations your parents have for you. Maybe there's just like a much more unconventional way you can find union with someone that makes you feel happy by being able to hold some kind of paradoxical things about that. And if that doesn't relate to you, something about a partnership, it's there's something, whatever your tension is, or you're trying to decipher who you are, that feels kind of two-sided, and just accepting, the paradox to be there will sort of unlock your heart, or just like make you feel a lot more able to let people into your life, to let celebration into your life. So it might just be more simple like that for some of you. Okay, so yeah, just a few things. This feels simple. This feels like timing, and this feels like something a little maybe more complex, but that just something you just need to confront, though, talk about, bring up to kind of dispel narratives that you're creating that are not, just help put certain narratives in your mind to rest that aren't real, and you'll know that by just being able to kind of confront whatever this is, talk about it. So nothing too challenging, I don't feel like, once pushed into, not like you'll, especially this, like I think the minute you confront this or talk about it, or whatever, clear some error, it'll be like, why didn't I do that weeks ago? That was not a big deal, but there's just like something circling, I think, in your mind right now. So okay, we're now going to move down to this lower row to get more general insight and illumination into your particular solar plexus. So this first card we're going to look at is going to show us some information around sort of the relationship you have with your solar plexus and how you develop your relationship with your solar plexus, hence how to strengthen that relationship. Oh, beautiful, friendship. And card 22 is a master builder number as well. So the energy of friendship supports our intrinsic desire for connection with others based on mutual affection and appreciation. And that does not surprise me that this shows up as the thing that really helps you to get to know your solar plexus and develop relationship with it, because we have partnership up here, and then we have this like marriage card up here. So it's just like something about your particular light, about your confidence and willpower is very much so stoked by being in partnerships and in friendships and in relating. You may have a lot of like Libra energy in your chart or Aquarius energy in your chart, but just like being in sync with others, there's something about that really lights you up and motivates you. So that's just something to know about your solar plexus. Building qualities of goodwill and friendship and of harmony and peacefulness and diplomacy and cooperation and compromise and all of that kind of stuff is something that really develops your solar plexus and helps you to feel a very solid foundation with it. And I think that when that is strong, you have the willpower and confidence to really masterfully build things in your life, to feel that assertiveness and drive to really build things in your life, maybe in with partners in like partnership scenarios, which doesn't have to be spouse partners, it can be business partners, you know, things like that, or it can be in collaboration, more in group friendship, group creative things. There's things about creating with others, feeling drive and motivation to kind of charge into life through how you do that with others is really something that strengthens you. Okay, let's get some context here. So Page of Cups. Yeah, and when this is, when your relationship is strong here, and something that also helps that relationship is just like really plugging into imagination and just like a really kind outlook with others as well. A really, sweet, kind care for others, and a willingness to just be a little bit light and imaginative. There's something about that creates just like a lot of goodwill through your solar plexus and in your solar plexus, and helps you to really feel connected to your drive and your energy. Yeah, really, really beautiful. That's a very beautiful concoction there. Okay, the next card we're going to look at is when your solar plexus is active and open and really doing things in your life, what kind of patterns will you start to see sort of appear around you and within you? Pride. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. I mean, it so goes with what we've already seen with this friendship thing. It totally matches and it makes so much sense. But yeah, like when your solar plexus is healthy and active and on, it's like you find that goodwill for others. You find a deep respect and ability to let others be who they are, to respect what people bring to the plate. You're able to relate with others. You're always able to find some commonality. You're always able to connect with people. And then I think when you're shut down or there's some blocks around your solar plexus, you may find yourself feeling a little bit more prideful and sort of unwilling to see the good in others or yourself in others, and kind of shut off a little bit more. Oh, beautiful. And so more context about what comes through when you're, and I love that there's a star in this mandala pattern, and then the star came out for you. So when you're in that healthy mode, when the patterns you're seeing are really feeling respect for others and acceptance of others, and really being able to find commonality and connection and see yourself in others, it brings a lot of hope. It brings a lot of energy of like inspiration for what's to come in the future, things that drive, like a real ability to see your future and see the beauty of what could be, which brings a lot of hopefulness, which inspires others, which can really help with that friendship quality you have within your solar plexus, or how you build your relationship with it, is like because you are able to, when you're working positively here, really see some beautiful things to charge forward toward, very idealistic visions of where to go, and almost like a leadership quality in that sense. It's like you can really lead collaborations and lead partnerships, and it's sort of like you have just like a really beautiful vision, but one that gives everyone a place and respects everyone's capabilities and use, you know, like you really respect people being able to put their gifts forward and take the positions they're meant to take. And, you know, even if that's above or below you or beside you, whatever it is, it doesn't matter to you. Like, you're very for people taking their natural positions and inspiring them to do so within sort of collaborative energy. It's really, yeah, really beautiful. Okay, and then this last card in this part of the reading is going to be looking at your solar plexus, how it, what is its process when it's integrating something into it newly. So when something's being processed there, how does that feel? What is that kind of quality that will arise? And so center is what you got, and I'm going to read from the book for this. Okay, everything moves, and I take advantage of that movement, flowing with it. Like a river, water naturally will find its way towards life. Something guides me in the torrent, something moves me from the center, so I listen to all the answers that are waiting for my attention. Life is now, the waters are telling me. Flow, I leave behind controlling tendencies and the fear of change. I embrace what is new without resistance so that my passion flows from the center and the inevitable comes to flourish along with my own beauty. I think that when your solar plexus is processing and integrating things, it makes total sense here that you're just really able to allow life to flow, to be natural, to be in the now, to kind of let go of needing to be prideful or controlling, and just like inspire and let everything and everyone fall into their natural roles and places and their best versions of themselves, which just brings forward a lot of flow and things. And it's another thing about you and the way your solar plexus works. It really likes to keep things in flow, hence ideas and projects and people and partnerships and collaborations in flow. And you can really hold the center of that that energy of flow that also inspires others to kind of release resistances and let things happen. Yeah, so that's really gorgeous. Really beautiful solar plexus, you guys. Okay, just the last confirmation here. Judgment. Yeah, what I'm feeling about this is when you allow your solar plexus to process the way it wants to be in this kind of flow quality, which I interpret as sort of the drive and confidence and motivation you have works best when you allow flow to happen and just like allow things to be in the present, and allow just things to be natural and easy. It also means that you're able to take things from that stage of inspiration to their finality, which is a really rare quality. A lot of people can be like really good at starting, or a lot of, really good at that production phase of kind of powering through the middle, and some people are really good at tying up loose ends and finishing things. But to me, this is saying like you can really be that force of inspiration to get things started, and you, because of that fluid, non-resistance processing power that your solar plexus has, you're able to go from inception to finish and really take things from A to Z and not have to, it's your ability to create, produce, and finish is like unparalleled. It's really beautiful. So that's gorgeous to see for you guys. Okay, to finish off this reading, we are going to get an ally from Spirit from this Untamed Elemental deck for you right now for this spiral of creation that is currently coming through you. Yeah, just bringing in an ally that your solar plexus needs to help you open to the spiral of creation, integrate it, and be present and sort of create with it, manifest with it. Octopus, beautiful. Let's... Pretty sure octopus is not in the waters. Maybe it's a wild card? No. Sorry, this book is kind of arranged by category, and sometimes I'm surprised by where things fall. I would think octopus would be in water, but it's not in the water. Maybe I missed it. Hold on, sorry. Manta ray. Oh, it was in water. I just skipped over it. Okay, so it says regeneration. As a complex master of disguise and charismatic contortionist, Octopus is ever-changing, highly resilient, and totally unlimited. She is an independent queen with 3 hearts, 9 brains, and an incredible talent for regeneration. She is a vessel of everlasting treasures that fuel her total recovery and dispel perceptions of terminality. As a living representation of the power of regeneration, Octopus bestows the auspicious news that, despite profound loss or wounds, life is dexterous. She supports the improbable truth that brokenness is not defeat. We can come back even stronger than before. With the universe, there is an infinite supply of energy. Money is not spent, it is circulated. Love is never lost, it takes new forms. Opportunities aren't missed, they are returned in ways that more accurately reflect your truth. Call on Octopus's medicine when you need to be reminded that healing and regeneration are not only possible, they are the nature of life itself. When balanced, flexible, resilient, creative, regenerative. When imbalanced, struck down, contracted, brittle. And I feel that in you right now in some of the blocks, and so I'm hoping this octopus's message and accepting it in as an ally for you right now will help you to kind of find your, bend things, regenerate things, just like really recall things back to you in new forms. Beautiful stuff. So it's to bring into balance, float or soak in water, anoint your body with precious oils. And that makes sense if, getting your solar plexus to start processing things does feel like being by water might be very helpful for that process to kind of reignite. So I think, being next to water, drinking water, taking baths, things like that, I think could be very, very healing and positive for you guys right now. To get your solar plexus back online and ready to kind of bring this spiral of creation in. And then we're just going to get a directional as well for you from Spirit. Our solar plexus gives us direction and it loves to have a direction. So I'm asking Spirit to give you some sort of directional guidance as well. Me time. Yeah, I feel that. I think you're in this winter mode. You're rejuvenating, you're regenerating right now, and I think a little bit of isolation and you time and some baths or walks next to water can really help just get back to your center, this says center here, back to your center, really reconnect with your own energy, thaw out some things, regenerate some things, come into a more complex ability to hold your paradoxes, let go of some baggage in partnership, or just allow some space for something to come back together if it's a timing thing. or something to happen that you're waiting to happen there. It's just like some spaciousness is just needed, I think. But I love the octopus coming in. That's just saying, yeah, like we'll regenerate just fine. We always do. And when we do, we are very, very dynamic. So yeah, beautiful, beautiful reading. I love your solar plexus. It really inspires me. Yeah, so this is where I'm going to leave you guys. Thank you for coming this far. If you have, like, huge shout out to you. Congratulations. Hopefully you're getting a lot out of this. One more to go. We'll be back with the heart chakra in about a week to wrap this up. And yeah, just yeah, really grateful for those of you coming through this. I've been finding it really valuable for myself as well, and hopefully it's, yeah, adding some value for you. And definitely give me a little thumbs up to let me know if you're liking these. Little comment is always exciting to, you know, see how this is connecting for you guys as well. And I'll see you next time in the heart chakra. All right, see you guys. Hello, Pile 4. Welcome to your solar plexus reading in this Spiral of Creation series. So we are going to initially look at these top row of cards to see currently where there may be blocks or things you need to know about timing, or just to prepare your solar plexus to receive this spiral of creation into it. And then we will look at this bottom row to get a more universal look at how your solar plexus functions, how you connect with it, and some, you know, just some great insight into generally your solar plexus. And then we'll end with some oracle cards. We're going to call in an ally and a guidance for you for this particular moment with this particular spiral of creation that you've been going through. So just a little bit before I move into this with your solar plexus, this is where we're really starting to move the spiral of creation more assertively into the world, more passionately into the world, and finding some, you know, when we brought this into the root chakra from the crown chakra, we kind of got a green light to start integrating this spiral into us more in an internal way. And now at the solar plexus, it's really that green light to kind of drive this forward into the world. Like something's really come into alignment, everything is feeling good, and that means you then have a certain motive and passion and motor in you to kind of, yeah, push forward. So we're just going to get some insight, yeah, into, yeah, how to bring this spiral of creation into this place for you. So looking at this top row for things around either blocks or timing or preparation that's needed, I am feeling a bit of a story going on here. I do feel like these three cards have a connected message. So I'm going to kind of just weave what I see together instead of focusing on one thing and then the next and the next. So what I'm feeling is that there is, like, your solar plexus is really needing you to tap into something a little bit more divine and compassionate in yourself toward yourself. You need to find like a little bit more, there's something transforming in you right now that is helping you to connect to a deeper sense of love for yourself and a deeper sense of what brings you pleasure. I think there's like, yeah, there's something that's evolving in you right now that your solar plexus is like, before I can really drive this spiral of creation out into the world, I need this to become a little bit more solid, or this transformation process to be a little bit further along. So it does feel sort of like, in a way, a timing thing. Ooh, I don't know if you can hear that. That's major thunder. We have sort of a stormy day here, but some thunder just came out. And so I feel like that's like, yeah, and I kind of felt that inside, like this very passionate, powerful thing coming through of like, there is like breakthrough, there's things transforming, there's things shedding, there's things cracking away from you that are old and brittle, for you to really sink in with, there's something evolving in you with the way that you're supposed to love yourself. And some guidance here is like, your higher self, your inner knowing, has a lot of wisdom for you right now. So it's worth spending some quiet time alone with that, asking yourself questions and sort of feeling how those questions move through your body, what responses you get, maybe a little bit of journaling. There's something that like both your higher self, like a higher perspective, has for you, to help you tap into a certain inner wisdom that you have, a certain foresight that's coming together for you around this. I think currently there's some pressure that is being felt around you. It could have to do with like how you're making money, how you're connecting to your body or your voice, or how you're just generally connecting to a sense of loving yourself. And yeah, so there's like pressure on that right now. It may not feel great, but it's part of this process. There's like some alchemy going on, and you're really like cracking out of old things. You're really creating new vibrations that you're just needing to understand from this higher place within you. And it's all around, how you're connecting to what your values are. I think they're shifting. How you connect to loving yourself, I think that's shifting. So there's, it's just like, to me, it's sort of time. There's some time that's needed here. It's a natural process, but things you can do to speed it up are really tapping into some silence, asking yourself some questions, doing some journaling, any kind of intuitive practices to really tap into that higher, wider self, that inner knowing that really wants to come through right now to help speed this up, help guide you, help confirm insights you're having, that kind of thing. So let's pull some tarot cards to get a little bit of confirmation here. And it's interesting. I think it's probably, I didn't really feel anything about why this is needing to be more solid in you, why your solar plexus is requiring that. And I think it might just be, unique to each of you of why that is. If you've been tracking your initial download when we were at the crown chakra through this spiral of creation and kind of watching how it mutates through each chakra, you may, reviewing that, have some insight as to why, new self-love is so important. Whoa, it is hailing out. Yeah, there's really, oh my gosh, I don't think I've seen hail in like a year. Wow, it's really big too. I don't know if you can hear it. It's like someone's throwing rocks at my house. That seems significant to me. It's like a very rare, very powerful transformation here. So, that's really cool. So we've got 4 of coins, 3 of swords. Okay. I don't know if recently you've had sort of some disappointment in the heart realm, whether that's in relationship or like a relationship that soured, or just something that your heart was very connected to that ended up being very disappointing. I think that is something that's transforming you, and it's sort of that thing with like with every failure we get closer to like our successes. And so I think whatever your heart is feeling here, some disappointment, it's only bringing you more wisdom, more ability and need to just like really trust yourself. And yeah, just like, to me, what's happening here is like maybe you've allowed something or someone to kind of step on your heart, use your heart, even when you knew inside that it wasn't okay and you needed to trust yourself sooner and do something sooner. But I think you've finally kind of gotten there. And so it's like you're taking those steps to be better to yourself, to pull yourself out of some sort of disappointment. And that, you know, that makes a lot of sense to me, why the solar plexus, that's sort of where we also connect to a certain kind of luminosity and joy. So like seeing this 3 of Swords, that your heart is a little sad right now maybe, is why why your solar plexus is like, I need a minute because I need for this, at least this wave. I know grief comes in waves and cycles, but like the wave that's here right now, it needs it to pass, and it needs you to understand something from that wave about deep inherent value that you possess, that you're starting to understand, you're starting to realize has really strengthened. You're starting to feel more and more protected in and ready to just, instead of hiding certain things about yourself that are very beautiful away, protecting them, you're just like ready. I feel like you feel protected enough and strong enough in yourself that it's time to just do you, follow your heart, follow your higher guidance, follow your intuition. And it's going to be a real turning point for you. You're really going to feel like a change of season coming in, from really stepping into the strength of your self-love and really using any wave of kind of grief or sadness that's currently here as not something that you're feeling like you're wallowing in, but something that you feel like you're really learning and deepening through and gaining so much more wisdom and so much more understanding of how to treat yourself, how you want to be treated, and courage to finally kind of act upon that. So yeah, huge transformation coming here. The hill is still coming down. This is crazy. So it feels very powerful. Okay, so let's look now. Let's just get a little bit familiar with your particular solar plexus, how it works, some general things about it. So we're first going to look at what is your relationship with your solar plexus. And because of that way that you relate to it, how can insight about this help you to develop a stronger relationship with your solar plexus? Ooh, you have sensuality, and this says the frequency of sensuality reminds us that as spirits in human bodies, we are sensual beings experiencing joy and pleasure from the physical world through our senses. So that could be just some way to be helping to prep your solar plexus, is to find ways to really get embodied, move your body, feel the pleasure. And I love that this is actually coming under this Venus card and this self-love. I think that's also something that can help speed up this transformation you're going through, is like to really get into your body and feel how there's something about that that helps you relate to your particular joy and luminosity. So by really appreciating that you can move, that your senses can give you pleasure, and really opening up to that, bringing awareness to that, playing with that, there's something about that that's going to really help your solar plexus start to feel more alive, start to channel a little bit more joy, and maybe have that illumination you're needing to find around what this grief is about or sadness is about, to find that wisdom. Yeah, that's really beautiful. Okay, let's get a confirmation on that. What else can we find about your relationships? A 4 of Cups. This could be like a really private thing that you do, though. Like, you may not, the way you use embodiment and sensuality and the pleasure of the 5 earthly senses to connect to joy and to connect to your drive may not be in like this showy way, this exhibitionist way. It might be much more private and much more contemplative, very subtle and soft and introspective in the way that you do this. Yeah, so just give yourself some space to contemplate as you work on becoming more aware of embodiment. I think there's something about that. It's sort of like digging into rabbit holes, connecting, relating to your sensuality brings certain illumination that helps you really dive deep into something, you know, it like leads you into rabbit hole things, which brings you, I don't know, I'm just like seeing this bird in the window, like brings you a lightness. It's interesting. So like going deep and contemplation is something that ends up actually helping you to lighten up and find certain beauty and song feeling in your soul and in your heart and in your, well, and actually in your solar center, in your luminosity and drive and confidence. Really gorgeous. Okay, so the next card we're going to look at is going to give us insight into patterns that you will see both within you and around you in the world when your solar plexus is open, is active, and working in a very healthy way. It says, worry. I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. Yeah, so when your solar plexus, and it's interesting, this coming under the pressure transformation card and then the 3 of Swords. So when your solar plexus is very activated in a positive and healthy way, you may be someone who tends to worry when it comes to whether you are driven enough or what goals you are actively pursuing or your ability to be assertive. You may have a lot of worry around that, but when your solar plexus is like in action, it's healthy, it's revved up and moving you, that worry tends to disappear within you, and those triggers around you, maybe it's like you see other people being very assertive and making life happen for themselves, and that makes you worry, or you are struggling outside of you to find some sort of target, which gives you some worry and then further scatters your energy instead of finding your focus. So a sign you can look for of whether your solar plexus is kind of closed and angsty, or whether it's like really open and working for you, is like your spectrum of worry. Where are you on that spectrum of worry? And that will help to indicate, you know, how strongly open and active your solar plexus currently is. And if it's on that spectrum of a lot of worry, it's like get back into a relationship with your solar plexus, you know. These things we talked about here, you can rewind a little if you need to kind of refresh that. Okay, let's get a confirmation on that, a little more context. Five of Wands. Something that can also really help you is, I think you're a planner. So once you do find that target, and your solar plexus is moving and active, I think you become really great at strategizing, at planning, at making the right connections, at defending yourself. And when it's sort of closed off and struggling to find what its drive is, I think there's potentially a lot of sort of conflict and feeling of like you're being overtaken sort of thing, and not really it's because you can't connect to a direction. It's like things, not literally people, but I think just like life and things seem to be kind of overwhelming you, like life is happening to you versus being able to move life through you. But when it's open, when it's active, when it's healthy, you really are able to have amazing focus and amazing confidence on, you know, what your goal is, what your motor and drive is, and really making comprehensive strategy to get there, to how to move out, how to push forward toward this. Okay, and this last card, and so the last part of this aspect of the reading, we are going to look at what your solar plexus's process is when it's integrating sort of new wisdom, new awareness into it. And this is kind of this deck is called the Spiral Oracle, and it's a little bit more like spiritual, metaphoric type. I'm going to read from the guidebook description. So it's kind of been fun to interpret these for this position, but we'll just see what comes. Embrace knowledge. Ooh, massive thunder again. That's something big to know, apparently. Okay. Okay, it says, this painting honors the very source of creation. So a little closer view. It represents the ancient image of the Selknam culture, a culture from Patagonia, which is in Argentina. People who were the spiritual guardians of the southern world. Their origins can be traced back to about 9,000 years ago. Wow, that's a long time ago. 9,000 years of evolution and knowledge wiped out by colonization in just 2 decades. Therefore, I ask myself, what are my roots? Have I forgotten where I've come from? Then I remember respect. I remember that my parents and grandparents live in me and that we are made of stories. Roots. I leave indifference behind. I contemplate. There's that word again, contemplate. That's very important for you guys in your solar plexus. I contemplate my ancestors, focusing on their light and no longer on their wounded egos. I am now honoring and healing my roots. I acknowledge the sublime creation that I am, the result of a chain of improbable phenomena. Ooh, lightning just came in. Manifesting. Wow, you guys, your reading is powerful. I hope you can hear this thunder. It's crazy. Okay, let me restart that sentence. I acknowledge the sublime creation that I am, the result of a chain of improbable phenomena, manifesting in each generation, on and on. Here I forgive, I love, I acknowledge, I thank and honor my origins. Being grounded in this understanding of where I came from manifests acceptance and prosperity. So when your solar plexus is integrating sort of new wisdom, new awareness, things that you may start to feel in terms of connecting to your confidence, your drive, your luminosity, is this kind of sense of like wisdom that's been passed on through your genes, maybe even connecting to stories of ancient cultures and traditions, connecting back to the land, really paying attention to where you're feeling rooted and an appreciation for just being, no matter tragedies that may have happened in the past that got you here, you are here. And so this just like gratitude and groundedness, which opens up this just like your DNA, like unraveling certain stories from your ancestry, certain gifts from your ancestry. You could even have like ancestral visitations. Yeah, that's one for you. If you've never experienced that, I'd open up to that. Start working with ancestral kind of mediumship. One thing you can do is, you know, if you have the capacity to research your ancestors through like a genealogy site, and there is a trail, and one of their stories really connects to you, you can, with your evening meal, set a place for them with, it can be as simple as water, or it could be something like whiskey or wine, but setting, you know, an offering to them as you eat, setting a place for them, that can help you connect. And if you know, if your lineage is not easy to find information on, and those connections have totally been lost, like this guidebook sort of indicated might be the case for a lot of you, just feeling certain presences, what's coming through, what do I intuitively think ancestral stories may have connected with, or gifts from my ancestries, maybe you can sense those things. So just like really paying attention to that. And I think when your solar plexus is integrating, upgrading, coming into new awareness, that's something about roots, something about ancestry, and something about just gratitude for being here and now really starts to unfold in you and feel really magical and really powerful. Okay, let's get a confirmation card here. Context. Ooh, King of Cups. I think you have an incredibly powerful ancestral line in terms of having like emotional command, emotional bandwidth, and emotional authority. A real, you know, in this dragon, I always feel like dragon energy is like the protector of portals. So you may even connect to ancestry from like other star systems. And that might be something that's, and it makes sense with all this thunder coming in, this atmospheric stuff like coming from, yeah, more out in the ethers. Yeah, it may, for a lot of you, that ancestral stuff, even if you can't figure, whether you can or not, trace your ancestry here on Earth, I think that there is star ancestry that really is around you and protects you and helps you to come into these upgrades and helps you to really process a lot into your solar plexus and find, you know, updates and awareness, and that awareness leading to finding new goals and your confidence to go after them, and joy in, you know, being here and now and having your five senses. You know, I think some star systems were not so material as this star system is, the sun system. And so there's like something that's, I think you probably find particularly connecting to confidence by having these very heavy material senses that can bring equal pleasure and pain, but I think that polarity even brings you some sort of gratitude and pleasure to understand. really cool, really beautiful, and wow, what a powerful reading. And something I should bring up, I wasn't sure if I was going to talk about this or not, but just the fact that this reading took place during, you know, the only thunderstorm and hail I've seen in like a year here is... I had to take a week break between doing the first 3 piles and doing your pile, and I was like, there's some reason for that. It was like there was some construction going on in my home, and I kept having these intentions that I'd like wake up early and quickly do your pile, but I just was never quite, it just wasn't feeling right. I would wake up early and get things done, and I was just like, no, something's off. There's something that I'm waiting for here. And so it's so fascinating that when I felt like, you know, I finally had the space open, was able to, you know, be at home all day without the construction, because there's a little pause in it for a minute, and I felt that energy that yes, I should do this today. And then right in the window that I do it, there's this massive thunder hailstorm, which is now waning. It hadn't started when I started your pile. It came up, and now as I'm ending, it's petering off. It's so fascinating. So there is very much so something very transformative right now going on for you guys with your solar plexus. And there's so much, ooh, can you hear that? So much confirmation in the weather coming through with that. So really, oh, and look at this. Oh my gosh. I don't know how I didn't notice that in this 3 of Swords card. Whatever is very saddened or grieving in your heart right now is the actual force, this thunder and hail. I'll just call it hail in this card. It looks like rain, but I'll call it hail. This thunder, rain, hail in this card. It's the exact thing you needed to go through to truly transform and upgrade and really find that power within you to start standing up for yourself and update how you love yourself. And really start to come into trusting your higher self, connecting with your higher self, and that really creating a massive sort of change of situation and season and whatever for you. So very cool. You know, in this particular Wheel of Fortune, it's like this person is like a spider. So there's something you're weaving, I think, and it's just like maybe that weaving is suddenly starting to make some sense, and I see the sun coming out here. So that's also a hint as to when I think how to know when your solar plexus has made that transformation and you're moving from the storm to being open and ready for the spiral of creation to come in, as you will feel this sensation of having a connection to your higher self, and the sun really feeling it like it's shining on you, and your solar plexus lighting you up from the inside as well, and really starting to see something that's been woven through the, you know, threads and fabric and story of your life that all of a sudden is like, oh, huge aha coming for you guys. That's what I'm sensing. Okay, to end this reading, we are going to find an ally for you guys as you take, you know, the next week or so to open up to this spiral of creation and prepare your solar plexus to kind of receive it. We are going to pull from the Untamed Elemental to find you kind of an elemental ally to be with you. The Rose, beautiful, which is heart energy and makes me so happy to see because of this 3 of Swords we've got going on. Okay, bear with me while I find this. The way that this book is organized, I don't always quite know where to look for. Quite know where to look for. It's probably under Earth, but let's see. Rose, it is. Okay. undefended heart. Her delicate scent is a microcosm. It contains notes of the celestial bodies that have lent her their wisdom so that she may align herself with universal love. Between her golden center and thorns is a story of both praise and protection. She is the pristine flower of angelic adoration and is also endowed with the ability to draw blood from the mindless approacher. She is Rose, a potent aid for harmonizing the heart. Beautiful. So this storm, this sadness or grief in your heart, it's really charged, like cracking you open in a way that will really help you tip your scales a bit and reestablish, find a new balance, I think. And this Rose is with you to help you with that. Rose requires both shadow and light to do her work. Yeah, her medicine is strong beneath a full moon. She speaks of love. With her realm, nothing else exists. The earth journey is filled with joys and sorrows, and Rose asks you to draw upon her magic to live with an undefended heart. Take care to keep your heart center washed clean so that it doesn't close down from the exhaustion of being overburdened. Rose radiates purity and connects your entirety to this present moment, to her beloved garden where you will return to harmony and balance. Communing with Rose is a powerful way to help maintain the elasticity of your heart through the ups and downs of life. When balanced, keen emotional intelligence, open-hearted. When imbalanced, blocked feelings, heady, bitter. To bring into balance, shift into your higher mind, validate your authentic feelings. So you may be moving potentially over the next week, but whenever it feels right to you, whenever you feel this sensation, this ally is indicating it's going to help take you from a place of maybe feeling closed off in your heart and maybe some things going on that whether they've already taken place or not, that really shake you, that may make you feel blocked, bitter, and shoot you into mind and out of heart. And it's going to, that imbalance, that kind of breaking open, the heart is going to be guiding you to realign and rebalance and harmonize your heart with more self-love, more strength and confidence in you, and not dependent on how anything or anyone has made your heart feel, but like really coming into a strength in your heart that's just inherent in you. So, and then the open-heartedness is when you will know that your solar plexus has opened, and this spiral of creation will then be, entering into that for you. Okay, and then the last thing, our solar plexus really can give us direction, and it loves being given direction when that feels from a higher place. So we're going to find a directional for you, some sort of guidance about a directional anyway from Spirit. Flow. Yeah, I mean, when I'm doing this reading, we are coming tomorrow from when I'm doing this reading, and I actually hope to get this up today, so if you see this within a day of me getting that up, we will be coming into an Aries solar eclipse. And it's happening, there's different types of eclipses, in my opinion. There's ones that happen near the north node versus the south node, and when it's in front of or behind one of those nodes gives it a different essence, and if it's a new versus full moon has a different essence. And so this is going to be a new moon. It brings pressure, and it's happening near the north node, which is where new 19-year journeys sort of ignite. But that behind it, where this is taking place, is where that ending. So we go through endings and beginnings, that once the energies cross the north node, that's the beginning. But when they're right behind, that's when we're kind of dissolving things, letting things go, really finding bigger comprehension, bigger understanding by kind of seeing, being like opening up, surrendering to flow, feeling everything. Can bring a lot of flooded feelings. But that happens in order for us to, it requires us to let go, to surrender certain things, and to have the heightened sensitivity to feel and see it all and witness shadows and sort of integrate our light and dark. And one of these cards talked about that. I can't remember exactly where it was, but I think it was in this Embrace Knowledge, because that was the one where I read from a more kind of esoteric description. But yeah, so I think this eclipse is, whether you see this before or after, or even if you see this 2 years after, there's something happening when you see this that has an eclipse feeling. I think something's being eclipsed from your life that's really going to potentially crack open your both your heart, but also in relation your solar plexus. There's some link to these two, which initially kind of it shuts down, but it's also surrendered, and it's like just flooded. So it's not open in the sense of like open and healthy. It's like cracked open in a little bit of a broken way, but that brokenness, those cracks, are where the light enters. So that's what a process that's going to be happening. And this process is going to have you connecting so much more to feeling empowered in your heart and in love and in your luminosity through your own inherent worth and self-love, not based on anything external to you. And so the directional you're being given is just like flow with this. It's taking you to something where you are transcending something, where you're transforming a huge aspect of yourself. Probably won't be an easy time, but it is ultimately leading you to more wisdom, more understanding, and more compassion. So anyway, this is where I'm going to leave you guys. You got an extra long reading as well. So yeah, this is your solar plexus reading, and next week, or whenever, hopefully I'll be able to get to the last one in this series in the next week, but we'll see with the construction. And that will be our last in the series. It will be our heart chakra, and that will be where we have fully sort of integrated this spiral of creation into our lives, and now we step into just being in the presence, like holding the presence of that integration. So it's a really, it'll be a really beautiful reading, I imagine, for every pile. But yeah, anyway, if this resonated, I always appreciate a thumbs up. I always enjoy seeing little comments as well, see what you guys have to say or how it connected for you. And definitely subscribe if you're not yet. And I will see you soon in your solar, or in your heart chakra reading to end this whole series. All right, see you guys.